Everybody, welcome to our Sunday session. Today we are discussing matters aging gracefully. Age is something that is inevitable, but we can age gracefully without a lot of aches and pains, without a lot of health challenges, but you can age with all your body functioning well and looking good, looking nice. And today we have a very special guest who is coming to talk to us about aging gracefully and looking good. And she'll also invite another guest who will come and give us a personal testimony of how she's been able to age gracefully. And without further ado, I want to invite Gladys Njura, who is a very, very seasoned leader in the wellness industry. So Gladys, are you there?
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, and amazing, and welcome everyone. We can all wave, if you can be able to just wave, but no, let's not raise our hands because they'll be all over the screen. Good afternoon, and for those who may be out of East Africa, maybe it's good morning for you. And maybe some people in Australia, it could be another almost night for them. Karibuni sana. For me, let me say that this is where I thrive best. And my prayer is that by the time we are done with this meeting, that we can have so many of us trying to understand what it is we can do so that we can contribute to our living healthier, aging gracefully, so that we in turn can be able to impact other people. So for me, this journey started some years ago, and I was just invited to a meeting. You know, I'm a career banker. I went and did education at the university. I'm a trained teacher at Kenyatta University. And after finishing my campus in 1996, I was open, of course, to go and work for TSC. But along the way, I just got the interest of going to the bank. So I applied, I got a job, worked in the bank for some years. And in the process of working in the bank, I was open to learn many other things. I'm not the kind of person who likes staying in one place. And so what happened is that I was open. I was looking, what else can I do, even if I am working in the bank? But more so, I was doing it because I needed extra income. Truth be told, I really, really needed extra income. So basically what happened is that I prayed to God for an opportunity that would give me a kick, you know, in my life, that would give me more excitement in my life. And while I was now working in the bank, after that prayer, exactly a month after that, I get invited to a meeting like this. Well, it was not a virtual meeting, it was a physical meeting. And somebody tells me, hey, Gladys, I have met this company and they deal with health, they help you make some extra money and you can travel the world. And so I go to this meeting, I actually like what I see. I go to my second meeting, and the second meeting is the one that sealed it all and gave me this foundation for health and wellness. Previously, before then, I had been buying books from the Seventh-day Adventists. They have good books on health matters. So I had been buying their books out of interest. They were very expensive books. I remember those days I would even buy a book and pay it in 4 installments. So fast forward, I'm here in the bank. I've been invited to this meeting. I find it very exciting. Then I'm invited to the second meeting. So my second meeting, I go and I am introduced to the health that I'll talk to you about. You know, living a healthier life. And my first trainer on that matter was Dorothy Nyongo. Dorothy, I salute you wherever you are, because she explained something to me that not many people had told me, even as a young mother, or even as a corporate. You know, the things that we take for granted, She was my first teacher. And I sit down in that meeting and I listen and I'm like, wow. So here I am having young children. That is 20 years ago. My firstborn was 9 years and my secondborn was 3 years. And what is put on the line, whatever she explained, I was like, I was walking the opposite direction. And from that day on, I made a firm decision that I'm gonna learn more about health, that I'm gonna try and do much more about health. And that is the thing that sealed my career that I took on after that. So for the last 20 years, I've been the health and wellness unashamedly, and I promote it. I'm a health enthusiast. And what excites me most is along the way in the process of learning and training other people, I had no choice but to live that life. So I started living the life and the benefits were obvious. I started feeling healthier. I remember that time I was 30 years old. I was very tired. I would leave the bank, get home, get on the couch, and just stay there until bedtime. A very bad way to live. But I remember from that moment on, actually from that day on, I started getting more interested. I started getting more energetic, and I actually started getting more involved. So for me, it's not just a case of, it didn't just happen by flukes. I made a decision. And I can tell you for sure, for us to age gracefully, we have to take the time to understand what does it take to live a healthy life. And this is not something you leave to chance. This is not something you do once or twice. This is something that has to be your daily effort as a person, as a mother, as a, we have our parents. And so if you're on the call, I salute you, I welcome you. And I want to tell you that we are not just here to talk to you about this health thing. We want you to be part of it. And we want you to be an ambassador in your own small way, wherever you are, at your workplace, at home, within your nuclear family, the extended family. Do what it is that you can. And my prayer is that if we keep doing that, we will make the world a healthier and a happier place, which is our mission statement, actually. And above it all, you will be able to mentor many other people who in turn will do the same. And even for those of us in Kenya, we can help the government reduce the challenges we are seeing on health matters. So moving on to our topic today, aging gracefully. Each one of us, wherever we are, it's in us that we wouldn't want to look older than our age. If anything, we always want to look younger than our age. And many times, depending on how you live your life, that will show either you are within your age, or you're looking younger, or you actually look older than your age. I don't know about you, but for me, it's a great deal if I looked younger than actually my age. So welcome to the session, and let's just navigate this journey. And I want to put a disclaimer here. We are not here as doctors or as medics. We are here as ordinary people who have decided to do something extraordinary in terms of our health and our wellness and that of our family. So before my journey, I had challenges with my children. They had serious health challenges. Personally, I had a lot of fatigue, but this journey has really helped me. So for everyone on the call, I would like to pose a question and ask you honestly, would you like to live a healthy life? And I can almost be sure that the 137 of us who are here right now would say a resounding yes. And then I pose another question. Would you like to live a healthier life and longer? Would you like to live a healthier and longer life? And the resounding answer, I'm sure, we are 141 now. People would say a resounding yes. But now, why is it that many people are not living that kind of life? I would say one thing, it's because of ignorance. You know, we are told, even in the good book, the Holy Bible, we are told people lack or people perish because of lack of knowledge. Even when we go to school, we know we are always told that ignorance has no defense. And though that sentence is very serious about it. And it's just common sense. I mean, if you're ignorant about something, you will not in turn come and say, I was not told, I was not aware, because the world demands us to keep acquiring more information. And I'm sure everybody on the call, you could be an engineer, you could be a lawyer, you could be a teacher, you could be a housewife, you could be a business person, whatever it is, you could be a student. Whatever it is you are, it is inevitable for you to seek information of the field where you work. If you're a lawyer, you read more cases so that you can quote them more when you go to court. I mean, we are always seeking more information for where we are. Even if you're a business person, I'm sure you want to know more about business, about markets, about how you can influence more sales. And we are always seeking these things. And so there's no shortcut here. Even when it comes to health, there's no shortcut. You must seek that information. And you don't seek it as a one-off. It has to be a lifestyle. And when you seek it, then you action it. So karibuni sana, our health is our greatest wealth. You know, no matter how much money you have, if you have some aches and pains, if you have a challenge in your health that is pushing you, you're not a truly happy person. And so when we talk about health, actually the World Health Organization has given us the trend. And they are saying that it's unfortunate that what is happening in the world today is that out of every 4 people that pass on, 3 of them will pass on because of lifestyle diseases. And so the lifestyle diseases we see on the screen, they are robbing us of our aging gracefully. Because if you're on this if you have any of this challenge, it will mean you'll be a frequent visitor to the hospital. You will have to take in a lot of medication. You will have to take in a caregiver sometimes, okay? And again, it will cost you a lot in terms of your psychological well-being and financial well-being. And so some of these chronic diseases are things we need to think about, but without even looking at what is on the screen. The thing is, before we can even get there, you may be the way you are and you think you're healthy, and maybe there are some things you're doing that are actually not healthy, and they could be taking you to those challenges we've just seen on the screen. So when we talk about a healthy lifestyle, so that in turn you live aging better without aches and pains, that lifestyle, we are talking about 3 very key elements, but I'll add a few more as we talk about this. The first one is we are told we need to have an exercise regime. And I'm sure not every one of us can be able to actually have rigorous exercise. That's a fact. But at least the fact is you must plan to live an active life. An active life means you do some walking, you do some up and down in terms of stairs, you actually do some maybe skipping, some whatever it is that you can afford to do on your own. But definitely there are those who go to the gym. Yeah, if you're lucky, you can be able to afford the time and the money, you go to the gym. But we also have many people going to the gym and they are not still healthy. So that is just one element. So we are saying, if you're here on this call, make a commitment, no matter how difficult, to live an active life. An active life requires cardio, and it requires making strength of your muscles, muscle strength. So those 2 must be looked at. Cardio, muscle strength. And that is very important. When you exercise, your BMI is checked, most likely, most probably, for most people. When you exercise, you have less stress. Yeah, you're able to relieve part of the stress that could be in you. When you exercise, you take care of your heart. Your heart is a muscle, and the other muscle areas. And the circulation of blood and oxygen is even done better. And there are many other benefits we get from exercise. The other element is to rest. You know, we take resting for granted. When we are told we need our 6 hours of sleep to 8, we should not oversleep and we should not undersleep. There are many people who sleep less than 5 hours and they think they're okay because they think they are strong at the moment, and they forget that not sleeping is actually causing damage slowly by slowly internally and sometimes even externally. So we need to know that some of us have children who are on the phone. You know, they're able to afford a phone. And many times our children are on the phone, they're on the computer, other gadgets. And you find that in itself can rob them their quality hours of sleep as early as in their teens, you know? So that is very, very important to note, that you need your 6 hours, your 8 hours, and don't encourage even oversleeping. The people who oversleep, they actually shorten their health with some years, their lifespan. Why do you need to sleep? Again, when you sleep, you rest your body. Your body rests. It has some period of time to rest. And when it is resting, it's renewing and rejuvenating itself. Whether it is the digestive system, whether it's the heart, at least it is not going around the clock, and everything, even your brain will go to some kind of rest. And that is the time the body repairs itself best. So again, when you don't sleep well, your body will emit some chemicals that could actually be carcinogenic. So that is something that we really need to look at, and we encourage our children to understand why they need quality sleep, even if they think they are young and they can do whatever they want. The other element is how we eat our food. Your food will either make you or break you. And I'll take some time more on the diet part of it. But before now, I leave this place. There are other things I would want to encourage. Water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Everywhere you are, always make sure you have a glass of water and you're taking that water. When you can, carry your water bottle, hydrate and refill it, you know, unless maybe you have a problem when you're traveling because of going for a short call and maybe the travel is long. There are those occasions you may decide, let me go slow on this, but please hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And please don't say, I take a lot of coffee, I take a lot of frizzy drinks. No, no, no. We are talking about water. And you also need to look at which water is best to take. I know many times we like bottled water, but some bottled water is not always the very best. Like carbonated water, you wouldn't call it tick, 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 you know? So you need to make sure that you're taking quality water, and water also that doesn't have organisms that will in turn rob you of your health, and then it affects your quality of living. So that is very important. The other thing is sunshine. You know, many times in Africa, we know we have the sun, but we take it for granted. Beginning now, very many people stay in the house up to the times of noon, or many times people leave the house, go to the office, and so they'll not even have time to actually bask for that 15 to 20 minutes. And even many people who are found in the sunlight, they wear the way I'm wearing. You know, you have a long sleeve, you're wearing something maybe that is covering your legs, and that in itself will rob you for the sun to be able to get in contact with your skin so that you have enough of the absorption of the D3 that is required. So that is very, very important. Now, another thing is social well-being. Everybody needs to have a clique of people who give meaning to their life, people who can support you, people who encourage you, people who help you go out and talk out issues, because that is also part of life. And one of the things that could be a challenge in the years to come is if you're going to retire, when you do not have a group of people who can support you, then you find your life becomes very miserable. Yeah, you could be in the corporate world having very many friends all over, but when you retire, the question is, will you have that? Will you have a group of friends a group of people you can fellowship with, into even your family members. Are you investing in that relationship where you have enough of that, even as you go into your retirement years? Remember, the older you get, the fewer friends, true friends that you can hang around you have. You know, real true friends, right? So moving on, we also need to check a few things. Something else you need to check is your BMI, your weight. How are you working with your weight? I mean, we all need to understand this terminology called BMI, your body mass index. According to the height that God gave you, there are certain kilos within which you should operate, such that you should not be underweight, as you can see here, and you should not be overweight, even if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos. Well, they may be few, but they will have some negative effect. That I can tell you, if you read what are the negative effects of even a little bit of weight, they'll be laid down even by Mr. Google for you. One of the reasons why we need to remain with our weight is your knees and your structure. When you have weight, you give a burden to your back and the legs that hold you, your ankle, your foot area. All those things, you actually give them a lot of stress. Not to mention your heart. Remember, all your organs are meant to fit a certain weight according to the range that you have. Maybe you're supposed to be between 50 and 60 or 55 and 65, depending with your height. Those people who are taller can hold a little bit more of the kilos. What happens is if you become a little bit more weighted, the organs now, the size they are, they have to take care of a bigger size of the body, and they actually start getting overworked. That is not good at all. The other thing we need to check is, let me come to this later. Our eating habits. I'm going to come back here later in a few. Okay. The quality of diet that we are eating. And that's where I'll focus in the next like 10 to 15 minutes. The dietary facts are saying, because this is the biggest challenge in terms of aging, 95% of the population of the world, they are now eating foods that lack nutrients. That's a very big percentage. Because the kind of nutrients we need to have whole grains, which have oils that are called lipids and sterols. We need to have quality proteins. That in them should give you the 22 amino acids. Those are the building blocks of your body. You need to have all the vitamins. What are the vitamins we need? A, B, C, D, E. People talk of K, but let me stop at E. Out of which, and some of them are water soluble and others are oil soluble. The water soluble are needed much more frequently, within the day, because they get lost as we go to the small room. We need to have all the minerals within a day. Some in big numbers. There are those that are needed in bigger amounts, the macro. Then we have the micro. And then we even have what we call the trace minerals. They are needed in very small quantities, but they are very important. And when we lack them, they affect our aging process. So we need the big ones, the magnesium, calmag, zinc, iron, manganese, chromium. Selenium, iodine. There are quite a number of those requirements. We also need good enzymes, because enzymes are very important for metabolism of food and even the activities that are needed in the body. And all these things, they work as a chain. And we are normally told your chain is as strong as its weakest point. So if your weak point is you are lacking iodine, no matter how little it's needed, that chain is broken at that point. Just giving an example. And you might find yourself having thyroid issues and taking medication for very many years. That in itself will have a negative effect with the years to come. You could be having a lot of toxins over the years because of taking a lot of medication. So many of us are lacking those nutrients, that wide range and variety, and we need to be careful. Then the scientists are saying 75% are deliberately eating incorrect foods, too much sugar, too much salt, too much oils. not to mention the other harmful effects. Foods with a lot of preservatives and additives and colorants, you know, and taking now the real hard stuff, drugs and a lot of alcohol, you know, whatever it is that we know we do, tobacco, all those things, they will harm us. And the dietary facts are showing many of us are in this category. You know, something as little as sugar or too much salt can affect your aging gracefully. Now, when it comes to diet, we are being told that many times we eat foods that are stripped out of the wholeness, you know. If it's a grain, like the grain we can see on the screen, that grain has the germ part that germinates. And this is where the real life of that plant is. And God intended that germ to give your body some very critical oils that are called lipids and sterols that are very critical for maintaining all your body cells from head to toe. And for pregnant women, it's even more critical because for a pregnant woman, the health of your baby child will be very dependent on the kind of diet that you eat. So we have the germ there, we have the bran or the outer cover that has fiber. Fiber is not a nutrient per se, but it's a food product that has a lot of benefits in the body, whether it's for the digestion, whether it's for removing cholesterol and body fat. I mean, it has a very big role within the digestion system and the entire body system. Very, very important. Then, of course, we have the starchy part, which is the bigger part that gives us the energy that we need. But if you eat it refined and you remove the bran and the germ, you've actually interfered with the quality of your life. I can tell you the diseases we started out with, they will come piling one after another because you are lacking the things that accompany this refined starch. Refined starch means now this is pure sugar because the starchy part of a grain is actually glucose in itself, whereby the digestion begins at the mouth and you can't control it. And so there's too much injection of sugar into your system just because you're eating a lot of refined foods. And so let's not think that when people are eating the rice, the brown rice, the white rice, is because they should be sick or because they are sick. No, it's us who should. Now let's be wary of this scenario where we actually say, I'm really missing to eat some junk. And that has become the in thing of today, especially the generation we are in. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a very tricky time for our children. And remember, as a parent, you are responsible for the next generation. It's not just about you. It's about your children. And you are their first teacher. So don't expect the biology teacher, those 4 years, they drummed enough reasoning for your children to take them throughout the years. That's a resounding no. So as a mother, as a guardian, as a father, as a guardian, you have the responsibility of making sure that that entire body, you can see now from the brain, from the hair, because even the hair gives me people stress. When your hair starts receding, whether you're a man, okay, men take it more gracefully and they stay bald. But for women, it really affects us psychologically when our hair is not okay. And then going to the brain, starting from the mouth area, you know, the throat, or esophagus, all the way to those organs you can see way down up to your toes. Any parts in that body structure that is out of order can cause you not to age the way you should, including dental distress. Wait until you have an issue with 3, 4, 5, 6 of your teeth. That's when you realize the importance of having good teeth and taking care of them. I wish somebody told me this, because I've had a fair share of dental issues with 2 teeth, and my prayer is I don't lose any other. Though a few others have been affected here and there. Something as little as that. You can see even something like depression. Depression is affected a lot about the food and the social environment we are in, you know. I'm a Sunday school teacher, and today I asked my class when we were learning, and we were looking at the challenges people have in life. It was within the lesson. And I remember asking those young boys and girls, has any of you ever gone through depression? And there were some hands up. Young people, they actually also go through depression. They get those moments when things are not okay for them. And that is serious. And so we are having a lot of depression in Kenya. And diet is also, plays a very big role, because the way, if you don't have enough of the omega oils, the vitamin B factors, and several other nutrients, then you compromise your health status. I need to move faster. Now, for you to say that you age gracefully, in a very big sense, you need to eat well. When you go to the hospitals, you find this graph there, where you have been encouraged to eat whole grains. And you know, it's unfortunate that the government places them in the hospitals, but we really don't have many people telling us why. Why do I need a lot of whole grains? I've just told you, all your body cells, all of them, they require whole grains. The oil, the starchy part, and the fiber part of it. The entire part of it is needed. Whether you are taking maize, wheat, rice, soya, whatever, oats, whatever it is. And then the other thing is we need a lot of fruits and vegetables. You want to live younger for longer, you must increase the number of fruits and vegetables that you take in a day, not in a week. You must check it out on a daily basis, because the body has daily requirements. In fact, they are called recommended daily allowances, whatever you are required to do within the day. You know, for women, like you hear calcium, you need 1500 mg or thereabout. For men, maybe 1200. And some people get as less as 100 mgs, 300 mgs. And that it comes day 1, day 2, day 3, months, years. And that's where now, that graph I wanted to show you, I will show you as we close. Your actually quality of life starts going down. And now you start having challenges as you age. And so it affects your aging gracefully. Proteins, what are the quality proteins we need? Number one, we need plant proteins. So go and do your research. What are the plant proteins that we need? And just in case you're on this call and you're saying, oh, I have ulcers, I have digestive issues, then take control of that element you're having. If it's the ulcers, find a good, natural, and healthy way of taking care of that. Of course, the world has the solutions. Inbox the person who has invited you. Take care of that situation so that you start living a healthier life. You know, that is very, very important. Then now you take the white meat that is organically grown. I'm not talking about the ones that are forced to grow faster, whether it is fish, whether it is the chicken family. It needs to be whole, I mean organically grown. If it's the chicken, it should be roadrunner. And then when it comes now to the red meats and the other proteins for animal, we need them, but sparingly. Don't overdo on them, because in them, they'll give you body fat. They'll give you plaguing of the arteries. They'll age your skin. They will give you acidity. The entire body will be acidic. They'll give you inflammation. And that environment is an environment for creating the diseases that we saw, whether it's heart disease, high blood pressure, the joints, the respiratory system, you know, all those things. And then fats and sugars should be minimally taken. And I think we need someone who can shout at the top of the mountain, fats and sugars, refined starch, frizzy drinks, foods that have a lot of colorings and preservatives and those things that are added that are artificial, they should not be looked at as things that are good, you know? And many people who find they do that, I see people taking 2, 3, 4 sodas in a day or even in a week. That's crazy, because that sugar has 15 spoons of sugar, refined to industrial sugar. That's crazy for the body, and it will affect your aging process. But because of civilization, we've actually inverted that pyramid upside down. Today is a Sunday. Many families go to eat like this. It's their cheat day. Well, I know we have to logicalize the way life is. We try to hide behind, we are in the world today. And so you find many people will do this. and say, I must have my 3 cheat days, my 2 cheat days, my 1 cheat day. Well, there's nothing much we can do about that. But remember, for every unhealthy diet you're eating, there's some damage happening into your system. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do? If you're on this call, I beg you, you need to know that that gap will definitely bring challenges to you and your children. And so what do we need to do? We need to fill this gap. And that is why if you go to the Western market, they actually have supplements. When you go to Western market and the Asian market, they are big into supplementation. Families have supplements on the table as part of their diet. Why do we need to supplement? I want you to understand this because I think in Africa, we are getting behind this. Yet we have a lot of good food, and yet we are having a lot of diseases happening. One, our farming habits. We no longer get what we should get from the soils. So that in itself is a challenge that is beyond your control. The way food is harvested, it's beyond your control. Sometimes we eat overripe food or underripe. It was picked when it was not ready. So it did not have the quality nutrients or vitamins that you need from that particular food. Then of course, the movement, the way the food is moved from one continent to another, one county to another, that can affect the quality of the food. The way it's stored in the kiosk and in our homes. And finally, the way we prepare the food. Now, not to mention the additives we put when we are trying to put this food to stay longer in the supermarket. All these things come and challenge us. And then on top of that, we are using a lot of chemical detergents, a lot of chemical skincare products, and all those things come to affect your quality of life. So that is why you need to think about taking quality, healthy supplements. Now, what are the supplements that can help you age gracefully? One, everyone here needs omega-3. I'm not talking about omega-6 or omega-9, that story for another day, but everybody always needs adequate amount of omega-3 in their body. Everybody needs oils that are called lipids and sterols. Lipids and sterols to take care of all your cell membranes. And everybody needs occasionally, once in a while, do your vitamin C, your B, check where your gaps are. And that's where you fill your gap. And even some herbs are very good for our well-being. Get to know which are the herbs that you need. St. John's wort, palmetto. I mean, there are so many herbs that are required to fine-tune our bodies and give us a better health. And of course, now you avoid the things that will reduce your status of health. Your status of health should go like this. You are healthy throughout. But if you go against what we've talked about, then it goes like this. You move from vibrant to tired zone, and you go to the sick zone. If you're in the tired and sick zone, God is gracious. If you start taking good eating habits, you bring your graph a little bit up. It may not be 100% for some people, but they'll live a more quality life. Reduce stress. If you can avoid too many prescription over-the-counter medicines, reduce tobacco, all those things. The way you cook your food, that would help. So in your life, what we are told is basically make the world a healthier and a happier place. You need to make the world a healthier and a happier place. And we are in that mission of making the world a healthier and a happier place. And regardless of where you may find yourself at, it's important to know that there are people in the world their whole focus is to actually build on that. And there are many people who will mentor you into that, including the person who has invited you. So this young man here, he was 19 years when he understood this, what we are talking about. He had been challenged by asthma for very many years. And out of the lessons of changing their lifestyle as a home, his mom was taught, and out of understanding what he needs to do in terms of eating and the supplements he could take, he became asthma-free by the time he was 19 years, never to have it. He's in his 80s now, living a quality life. Then we have a scientific advisory board. There are scientists who are not just focused on pharmaceutical side of things. They are focused on preventive measures. And these are some of the people who will give you some very quality supplements. So don't fear the supplements. There are people who are 100% very focused on giving you the very best. And this is Dr. Adafast. You can Google Dr. Adafast. He's a Nobel Prize winner. First, on cancer treatment. Second, on what toxins can do in your body. Because toxins can reduce the quality of your life. And many of us walk day in, day out with a lot of toxins in our system. I need to move faster. So if you ever want to bring that gap that we've seen, so that your whole grain is sorted, your fruits and vegetables have the best in terms of increasing the immunity building, even for increasing your T killer cells, helping fight your cancer cells. We all have cancer cells. It is important you take a look at ProVitality. So you have the lipids and sterols in something we call the TRNN. We have a carotenoid. Carotenoid is not the name just of this product. It's a scientific name of the fruits and the vegetables that highly improve your immunity. So you can go and read more about carotenoids. You can go and read more about lipids and sterols. And then, of course, we have the omega-3 I talked about. And we all need a multivitamin on a daily basis. I can tell you these multivitamins are not put in such that they have big strength. They have just required amounts to improve your RDA. So the rest of the vitamins and the minerals and the proteins and all the things we've talked about should come from the correct diet. This is just an add-on. And let me tell you, in the Western world, they are very big on this, and we need to embrace it. And what will happen is that you're going to repair the damage already done in your cell. That cell membrane will be repaired. And then in between here, you can even get something we call the coenzyme 10. It will give you more quality in terms of the energy that will be produced from your body, the mitochondria part of it. It will take care of the oily parts of the cell, the watery parts of the cell, and the balancing of the cell. That's what ProVitality does as more than just a supplement. It's more than just a normal multivitamin. Yeah, that combination of four. And I can assure you in 2 weeks, you're going to start feeling better. And read more about these things, because this is food, whole food. It's not medicine, and it's not anything done in the factories that it is synthetic. Then we move on, we need good protein. You see, bodybuilders are very keen about their health. And if you follow the runners, the rugby players, the athletes, their managers give them shakes to maintain proper development of the muscles, the repair of the damage. And I can tell you they do that for life. So even you as a person, you need to know that when you have a quality shake, you'll be able to maintain your weight better, and you're able to repair your body from head to toe, because that's what proteins do, the building blocks. So it is important to think about that. So I talked about TRNN for the lipids and sterols. I talked about carotenoids. And you can go and read their ingredients. I talked about immunity. I talked about fish oil, and I talked about a multivitamin. I want to add my presentation there and say that, remember, we've not just talked about products. We started from the very beginning, a healthy lifestyle, exercise, rest, eating well, reducing your stress levels, getting sunlight, being hydrated, reducing your stress levels. And we came all the way to the point where the gap is, you feel it. If you've never done a detox ever since you were born, I can tell you you're due for a detox. It will do you a lot of good. For a man, if you're here and you've never taken a herb called Sopomento, I want to tell you you're due for it. It will help you maintain your prostate gland, so that your PSA is at the required 4. So now, in closing, as I call the person who is going to help us give us a testimony, these are the tests I would want you to keep checking regularly. Your BMI, your sugar levels, your pressure, your PSA if you're a man, pap smear for women, and of course, breast examination. Your dentals, you need to keep checking that and maintaining that. And then above all, Always attend health meetings and pick whatever you can and that can help you cook better for your family. Go to the shop and choose better foods for your family, both in the real shops and in the grocery shops. And then, of course, be a happy spirit and be part of people. Have a social network that can keep you going. Otherwise, thank you very much, guys, for listening to me. I hope I've made some difference. But I want to tell you, if you do what we've talked today, in the next 7 years, you will look 7 years, 10 years younger than you're looking right now. Thank you very much. And let me welcome Ngao to just give us her testimony, because testimonies are very, very important. Extremely, extremely important. Karibu, Ann, as I try to stop my sharing.
Thanks so much, Gladys. Wow, that was fantastic presentation. She's a great teacher. I always like listening from her. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much, Gladys and Fred, for giving me this chance to share testimony of aging gracefully. I hope I look younger than my age. I hope that is the reason I was chosen, but I feel young. So my name is Ngao. Ngao is a wife. I'm married to Ngao Mangati. I come from Western. I'm married in Eastern, that is Western Province, Mumias to Makueni, and I live in Nairobi. We are parents of 2 young adults now, and I'm a retired banker. I worked for Barclays for around 17 years. After leaving from 6, that was way back in 1985. I left school 1984. And when I was looking for work, I wanted to become a doctor, but I didn't qualify for becoming a doctor. So I landed in Kenyatta National Hospital to become a nurse. But finances for my parents could not support me. So I found myself out there, and I found a job in the bank, and I got excited because I became a banker. Now, while I was in the bank, obviously, that's where I met my spouse and I got married. And we lived together very well. And I worked for 17 years. After 17 years, working very hard and working very, being very good worker, I landed in a department where the conversion was going on, that is computerization. And I happened to have been part of that conversion team. And when we finished the job, I got retrenched. That was in the year 2002. And I landed, I was in a mess. My attitude was wrong. I was depressed. I was feeling low. Everything was not right, because I was wondering how I was going to take care of my children, who are now, that time, they were 7 years and 4 years. And also my ailing parents, they were having sicknesses, the old age sicknesses, hypertension, arthritis, and they were depending on me being the firstborn. And when I got out, I was so, I was so confused. I didn't know what I could do with all those responsibilities. But I thank God I met a friend of mine we had been working with. She showed me this opportunity and I took it up. So in July, I'll be celebrating my 20 years of being in your life. It has been a life change. It has changed my life totally. I've been, surrounding myself with wonderful people, and my attitude has improved. My health has totally improved. When I came, I was obese. I was weighing over 90 kilos, and I'm short, I'm 5 feet. And Gladys has just talked about BMI. I never knew anything about BMI, but I really wanted to lose weight. I had tried all kinds of methods of losing weight. I had failed until I came to New Life and I was taught good eating habits, making the right choices. I was able to lose 10 kilos in 1 month and my life totally changed. My self-esteem went up. I started having confidence in myself. I started looking attractive. I started feeling this is the kind of life I want to be. I want to look this way. So it has been 20 years of good health. And the reason why we are talking about retiring or aging gracefully, one of the things I do is that I make sure that I maintain at least my weight. My weight has dropped to around 70. I always struggle between 68, 70. So you can see that the 20 years that I've dropped in 20 years, I've actually tried. I'm very sensitive. When I see that my kilos are going up, I quickly go back and correct the situation. So as I talk about my life, one thing I want to talk about is spiritual. I'm a Christian, and being a Christian, I trust God to take care of me. I pray continuously, and so that makes my aging gracefully because I'm at peace with myself and I'm at peace with God. So I pray consistently. I pray about my life, about my business, about everything I do. So spiritually, I thank God that I am connected to Him, the only one who can make our lives, comfortable even as we age. I have a stable family. So family has also been able to support me. It's my support system. Even in the changing times, I have a stable family. And so if you want to age gracefully, you need to make sure that you have a support system with your family. And also I do exercise, physical health, meaning that at least 3 times or 4 times a week, I do exercise. Before COVID, I used to like going to the gym, but when they told us we should not be in crowded places, because when you are over 58, you remember they said the index was 58, and I was one of those people. So actually I stopped going to the gym, but I discovered there is a gym in the house. So I do YouTube exercises. I discovered somebody who can be my coach on YouTube. And I do those exercises at least 3-4 times a week. 30 minutes of good quality exercise. I do that almost every week. Another thing I do is that I check on my eating habits. I used to like chips, sausages, and chicken. And being a banker, you have some money. That was my choices of diet. And that's why I was having a lot of weight. But right now, I make the right choices. I've reduced my portions. So that's how I've been able to maintain. And I also take supplements. I love taking my supplements. They are my priority. I always tell people around me that I put my health first. So part of my investment for my family is in the health, whereby we know that men never runs out of our house. Omega-3 never runs out of our house. Things like feminine harbor. Of course, I'm menopausal, so it means that they're going through the menopause stages of life. And I've been able to be helped by those supplements Gladys had talked about, like taking feminine harbor during the hot flashes, and making sure that I maintain good mood around everybody. It has been a very good, easy journey. Not easy that, of course, that I did not go through the stages, but with the products, vitamin B complex, which has been able to balance my nervous system, calcium, which has been able to help my bones. As you age, you start having joint issues. Omega-3 is fantastic for my heart, and that has helped me to control my blood pressure, which I was starting to have when I started, and many other products. Fiber never leaves my counter, because fiber is very good for digestion. When you start aging, digestive system starts slowing down. So there are many supplements, I can't mention all of them, but also skincare. I use a nutrient synergy cycle. I use the marine organic, the ones we have in the New Life. These products are anti-aging. I look younger, I feel younger, and everything. I feel that the age is in in the kitambulisho. So I surround also myself with positive people. In New Life, we have such wonderful company. Our friends, we are taught how to be positive in everything. We surround ourselves with positive people. We never socialize with negative people, and we find ourselves moving in better direction. What about finances? Because you can have stress because of finances. Our company has given us a wonderful organization that we make money. We have learned to make money as we help people. We make money. I was worried about and also to invest in real estate. So financially, I can say that my future is bright, and also security. I was worried about my future, but now I can say security. I have security for my future and for my family. What about mental? You know, as you get older, you start being forgetful. We have some products that can help mental, like mind enhancement and omega-3. We use the products, and also we read books. If you don't want to lose your mind and your memory as you age, because you start having issues like Alzheimer's disease, you need to read books. So what I'm saying is that if you want to age gracefully, you need to know how to balance your wheel of life. You need to know what you are supposed to do at the right time. Once you do all those things, you will be enjoying your life. You'll not be worried about aging. Another thing I do is that I love, having fun. I travel. I love traveling. I love having fun, singing music. And I do all things because I want to have a balanced life. I make sure that I'm at peace with at least people around me. So that is what I can share. I've traveled immensely all over the world. I've been to America several times. We are now planning to travel to Tanzania to have our holiday. And we have traveled to America, to South Africa, to Durban, to Dubai. And now next year, I'm told we are going to be going to Turkey, and I love traveling. So as I do this business, I am so excited because I'm not scared about ill health, and I'm not scared about being lonely. Actually, I have a big company of people around me, and I'm still adding more people to my network. As I continue reaching out to people, I still expand my network. Instead of my network shrinking, it is expanding. Thanks so much, Gladys. I know I can talk until tomorrow, but that is what I can share today. And I believe that those who are of my age level, I'm going to be level 6 very soon, and I'm very excited. God bless you, and have a fantastic evening.
Wow, with such a girlfriend. I mean, she's showing me how to age gracefully. Thank you, Anne. You've been one of my inspirations and mentors. And guys, I think we've said enough. Let's go and practice what we've said. Over to you, Fred. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to share what we had. Thank you and God bless.